Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Let me see if I got something straight, Pat.
Yes.
Check this out.
The Giants finished the season 6-10,
Yes.
and they're angry that they were deprived of the playoff appearance because Philadelphia coach put in a different quarterback.
Different quarterback in the fourth quarter. Yes, they could have been the proud champions of the NFC East if only the Eagles had beat the Washington football team. And even though the quarterback he had played had only put up 14 points against the mighty Reds. Not the Reds.
No, we can't use that
The
name.
FTs, the WFTs. They thought they were very offended that he took Jalen Hurts out. And
You
put in
deprived us.
Nate
We're
Seth.
losers,
Yes.
and we can't be in the playoffs.
The fact that we puked on ourselves 3 weeks in a row. We had to win. They had to win one of their previous three to lock it up. And they did not win one of those.
Ouch. In fact, Pat, I think, I don't know if it was our guy Pelissero or Schefter, one of those guys was tweeting out the initial playoff schedule that's coming this weekend, and accidentally said, whoever they're playing, I forget who they're, Seattle, whoever they're playing said, versus WTF. On the tweet, which was very funny.
Either accidentally or not
intentionally, right?
Intentionally, one of the two. Well, I had a pretty good one yesterday. Oh, go ahead. What were
Did you
saying?
watch much of the Clemson-Ohio State game?
Yes. Changed my
This
opinion
Trevor
on-
Lawrence doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, he's good.
That was a bad game, but he's a good quarterback.
Justin Fields, I way down on him until that game, but I liked him a lot. Ohio State was better.
They
had
were.
better players. And Dabo, Big Mouth Dabo, who used to be a kind of a character when he started off and was a nice guy, and now he takes himself. Now he's very self-important after 10 years of excellence. But him, he just irritated them. And when you got as many good, Ohio State finishes top 3 or 4 in recruiting every year. Mm-hmm. So they got athletes.
Oh, man.
And you don't want to intentionally poke them when you're getting ready to play them. And he found that out.
They get a top 5 defensive end every year.
Yeah. Well, the one they got now that could have been back, who's playing for Washington's the Rookie of the Year, that Chase Young is a monster.
And the Bosa kids, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they still get them. It's Alabama and the others in the SEC, and LSU was one of the others last year, but it's Ohio State and the other. Michigan is way off the charts as far as having a chance to beat Ohio State now. But I did watch it, yes, and I was amazed how good Ohio State was.
I was too.
Yeah, they're real
And
good.
Aaron Rodgers has 3 words of advice for his teammates as they enjoy a week off. Don't get COVID.
Yes,
That's what he told them.
Yes, that's a very good idea.
Well put.
That's a very good idea because then they. Now I see that they scheduled the Saints for Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. So now Kamara can probably play, the guy who the Vikings limited to 6 touchdowns a couple of weeks ago.
6 touchdowns.
Did you watch? Yes. Did you watch the Lions and the Vikings?
Oh, bits and pieces.
Oh, it was classic, Joe.
Was it?
It was classic Lions.
Oh, yeah.
They force a punt. They're very excited. The punt returner drops the ball running while he's running, not catching it. That happens. He was running and he drops the ball. That gets him off to a start. And now at the end of the half, they're defending against the Vikings. Did you see that play? They're defending against the Vikings, getting close enough to kick a field goal. So they want to tackle the guy inbounds because there won't be time. So two of them run into each other and allow Chad Beebe to run down the sideline for a touchdown. They told it was like Abbott. It was not. It was like the Three Stooges, except there were only two of them. They run into each other, and you know what? The one guy was going to put the big hit on him, and he, instead of just like try to tackle him and force him down.
He's like the guy from the Saints on the Diggs catch.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was just going to go right into him.
Yeah, this was as bad. If it meant anything, this would have been the Ford Field Miracle, or the Fantastic, because these two clowns. I got me a good laugh at that because having watched the Lions now for. Having seen them win one playoff game in 63 years, it's kind of fun to have
Still
them.
incredible. I when you said that the other day, I couldn't believe it.
That can't be done. That's
That's
impossible.
It is. It is.
Have they been in a playoff game, one, or have they
they've been
won
in
one?
6 or 7. No, they've
won one playoff game.
One. I think they're 1-8
Yeah.
since 1957 when they won the title. But here's the other stat they had yesterday. Since 1978, and that's 42 seasons because there's the one season when they had the strike and only 9 games were played.
Right.
In those 42 seasons, they've lost 10 or more 22 times.
Oh, my gosh.
So our Vikings, as bad as they were this year, weren't able to lose 10. And the Lions have done it 22 times in 42 seasons.
Okay, obviously, Detroit is one of the teams that has never been in a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Who are the others?
What am I talking about? Who hasn't been there? Detroit? Cleveland?
Detroit.
Cleveland.
Yeah, but they're so new. Do we get to count them?
Either. Oh, that's right, because the Ravens became so.
Yeah.
I guess you can't count Cleveland. No, I think as far as going to the Super Bowl, the Vikings are like third now on the seniority list. Has Houston hasn't been in one, right? This Houston team.
No,
But the other one, the Tennessee, yeah. So of the ones that existed in 76, when the Vikings last went,
Right.
I think it might be Detroit's the only one.
Only Detroit.
Wow.
What just happened?
Yeah.
That's what just happened at Ford Field to this guy and to this guy.
I think my dream of PJ going to be the Lions coach isn't going to happen because I don't think Chris Spielman will let it happen to you.
no, not a chance.
Here's what they've done, Joe. Just to make sure they don't get good hires, they've given this Chris Spielman, one of their former players, the job as basically consultant to ownership. So that if you're hired as the GM, you're going to have Chris there to be your conduit to ownership. Who wants that job?
No.
And that was what Kill tried to do to Clays, remember? He wanted to stay and get the job where he would talk to the president about football, remember? Mm-hmm. That was Sid wrote that column, and I get along with Kill okay now. And but I wrote a blog saying what an idiotic. After Sid wrote a column saying why I should have given Jerry Kill. All he wanted to do was be the football representative with the president, which is really. And I wrote about how stupid this was. I was down in Florida and I woke up in the morning. I had 7 cell phone calls and they were all from Jerry Kill. Tell him why, and basically wasn't screaming or anything, but I just let him ramble for a half hour and said, "Okay, well, I still don't think it was a good idea." But
who right now is the ultimate owner of the Lions? Is it still a Ford
it's
family member?
Ford's widow, but
yeah.
now I think it's a daughter, isn't it?
Yeah, there's 2 kids that are involved.
I think
also.
the daughter is like is the team president now, but it's still the Ford family. Yeah. I've told you this 20 times, that you might have even been at that Lions game when those of us who were his friends called him Bill Ford, and so did all of Florida. I mean, all of Detroit called him Bill.
Yep.
And he's sitting waiting for the elevator in that dumbass Silverdome. Remember when you had to go around the side and then take it down? And these fans, or drunk fans, are coming by. Bill, you no good bleeping bleeper.
Just what happened to this guy.
The family made Detroit. The family made Detroit what it is. They kept the Lions. They built the Lions a new stadium.
We're 5-11.
Bill. And Bill,
Was Bill the guy that told me to take his golf bag?
Could be. Yeah,
I think that was
probably.
Bill.
He was probably about 70 then when you were there.
Just
So.
put that in the back over there.
Bill liked his alcohol. He said I saw him after a few games waiting for that elevator. He had the glow about him. So
Good for him.
nothing like the time the elevator opened and Marge Schott was standing in front of me in Cincinnati, drunk, beer rolling out of her mouth, saying, "Stay the bleep out of here, you!" That was frightening, man. Marge.
And you listened to what she said. You agreed with her. Not a problem,
Not a
Marge.
problem,
I'm gonna
Marge.
be
I
over
was going to
here.
wait anyway.
Were you
thank
covering a World Series?
Yes.
Okay.
Or a playoff or a World Series,
Okay.
yeah. I think it was the year they won it, 90. When
Oh,
they
yeah,
swept
sure.
them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. She was a beauty. She would have voted for Don.
She was a perfect square of a human being. I mean, in
and
shape.
a
She was a
face
square with a head on
face
top.
like a used catcher's mitt. A well used. A catcher's mitt you might find and laying in the dirt at the Brownton ballpark.
And that was on top of a perfect square.
Yes.
There was nothing. There was no curves anywhere.
I'm going to pull her up
Who
again.
was there? Which president's wife was there in 90? What's 90? Who's president?
That was
90 was W.
Yeah, Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Till
Laura
92.
Bush was there with W when he threw out the first ball, I think.
No, Laura Bush was married to
No, not Laura.
Yeah.
No, the
Barbara.
Barbara. And she has her St. Bernard on the field for the opening pitch of the World
Marge
Series.
does. Marge does.
Marge does.
Yeah.
And she's sniffing up Barbara and and Barbara's trying to act civilized while this Bernard's trying to check her out, man. It's poor Marge, what an idiot. But she won a World Series, so what the hell?
Well, Barbara Bush was Paulina Gretzky compared to Marge.
Oh yeah, Barb was fine. Barb was fine. She got a lot of people sober, damn it.
Yeah.
She did. So I got one request for you, Joe.
All right.
Oh no.
So wait a minute. I'm
Is there
sorry.
any-
She was widowed at 39, never remarried, and never had any children of her own.
And
Her husband had a heart
her
attack. at
future
68.
husbands and her children that she didn't have are all lucky. So she was nuts. I just said, as a co-host of Monday Night Sports Talk with this fine crew, is there any way you could do me a favor?
Sure.
Slip me 10 or 12,000 of those podcast listeners of Garage Logic.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
to kind of secure my future here. I just do me a favor. Just the 10 or 12,000 we need. Just
Right.
the 10 or 12,000.
We've examined that, and they're not available. That's a fact.
They're not available. You can't just switch them.
I just can't do it.
Can't
no.
switch them.
Well, here,
you
I
can't
can't
switch
tell
'em.
those people that voted for Garage Logic that they actually voted for Monday Night Sports Talk.
No,
you
I
can't
can't
do
do
that.
You can't do that.
So I thought you were going the other route, like you were this morning when you stopped in and said, "I got to call Barrero and say, hey, all those meters that you
Yeah,
have listed
Arbitron.
here when we were
Yeah.
on the radio, I think some of those are
Yeah,
wrong."
Arbitron. I went to the Arbitron guy in the Twin Cities and said, "Can you just give me 7 or 8 meters? Come on, can you just give me 7 or 8
Fudge him
meters?"
a little bit.
Yeah, just
Help
come on.
Daddy out a little
I
bit
just
here.
need 7 or 8 meters, and we might get another year out of this mess. So, anyway, it's unbelievable. What a time we live in. If we survive Wednesday, I think the country will be okay.
Yeah.
If we survive the Washington riots that take place Wednesday, we'll be okay.
Oh, Lord.
Wednesday's the day Congress certified
And
Biden.
that's when Donald has invited every white supremacist in America to show up. Mm-hmm. You see the Proud Boys, the hotel that the Proud Boys stayed at, and the bars?
No.
When they were here last time, they said, we're going to be closed on this week. We're shutting her down this week. Thank you very much.
That ought
So-
to be fun.
Oh, it ought to be great.
Isn't he going to Georgia tonight to campaign
Tonight,
for the
yes.
Senators?
And Biden's going to, and we will hear look at the size of my crowd compared to Biden's. There's no way he won the election. So,
Yeah, that's going to change things. The size of this crowd versus the Biden crowd is going to change things.
well, it'll maybe more. 48 hours, we might be okay. I don't know. No, not that many. 72 hours.
I wonder if the Timberwolves are going to be the Detroit Lions of the NBA.
They're damn near there, man. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you can make a comparison. For instance, the Lions were going to be real good at one point, and then Billy Sims got hurt. And I'm not saying the Timberwolves would have been real good, but this year they started you with some encouragement, and then their best player, as soft as he can be at times, Karl Anthony Towns, ruins his wrist. Mm-hmm. And even if he comes back and plays in 3 weeks, he's going to,
They're
every
gonna be
time
out of it, right?
Yeah, well, no, and plus every time he goes up for a rebound, somebody smacks his wrist. He's the same wrist that he hurt last year, so he's now probably got a chronic wrist problem. Oof. What was the problem Love had?
Attitude.
Knuckle push-ups.
Knuckle push-ups.
Oh, that's
when he broke the
right.
nickels. Although the rumors were that
Yeah.
someone was trying to get familiar with his girlfriend at the time, and he punched him.
And
So-
the other rumor is that other person trying to get romantic was another professional athlete in town.
But not
another twist.
not a basketball player.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Unlike the Jimmy Butler rumors, which we won't even go into,
No.
but it involved the rare athlete who might have made a proposition to another athlete's
Girlfriend or
never
wag,
with a
wag,
wife.
wag.
Never with a wife.
Oh,
but
not
with a girlfriend.
Okay, got
Well,
it.
he had values. Come on.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Well, who was the? There was one guy, and this was maybe 10 years ago, but it was rumored that there was a player traded from a certain superstar's team because that player had slept with his mother.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, I remember,
remember that one?
I remember that one. Yeah,
Thankfully, I don't.
yeah.
We had some fun with that.
I love the NBA.
Oh, they're great, aren't
They're
they?
the greatest, man. They're
What
just-
happened to just play basketball?
I went in there
I-
for the wings. Wasn't
I
that was-
told you, there's a whole culture of TV watchers and Instagram people out there who are NBA fans because of which Kardashian or other person that they're dating. It's an amazing world out there, that's for sure.
Looks like Zimmer's going to be on his 6th offensive
Is
coordinator
it
in
6?
6 years.
Will it be 6?
Yep.
Okay, we got Norv was the first, right?
Norv was the first.
Norv was the first, a very well honored and respected
Super Bowl winning coach.
and offensive coordinator. Then we
Yeah.
had who?
Then we switched to
We switched. Pat Shermer.
Shermer, who got the head
That's who
coaching
will be
job.
back, by the way, right? Shermer will be back.
Oh, that's true.
next year.
Yeah, that's true.
Pat Shermer, who then got a head coaching job, at which he failed miserably,
And now he's out in Denver.
and then
Then we switched to Filippo.
DiFilippo. Okay.
And then we had Stefanski.
Okay.
And then we had Kubiak. And now we'll have.
Yeah.
And then we'll
Gary
have.
Kubiak hung her up today, and boy, was that predictable. When Zim went to him and said, "We got to start running the ball more," you know,
Yep.
Zim has no time for offense, which, by the way, in 2020 was twice as good as the defense,
Right.
at least.
Well, I saw a note. Campbell had it that they had the exact same number of yards on offense as they did on giving up on defense. The exact
Really?
same number. It was like 6,290 some yards.
That's a mathematical quirk, Joe.
I'll think so. It's like Stan Musial having the same batting average on the road and at home for
Yes,
his career.
it is.
Wasn't it number of
That's-
hits? I thought it was number
And a
of hits.
math,
hits, maybe?
a math guy like you've always taken an interest in those mathematical quirks, like
I love
3 and
those.
4 and 7, stuff
I
like
love
that.
those. Yeah.
How the old math skills doing in your older years? Are you
I think they're getting better. Yeah.
Are they getting better at picking up? Because you can get that phone and go ding, 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 and there it is. There it is.
You know what's improving as I get older?
What?
My reflexes.
What?
Like I'll reach for something on a shelf and it falls and I can just catch it almost
You're
behind
like a
my back.
cat?
Really?
I'm like a cat.
That's unbelievable. A lot of pandemic practice because you're
Yeah,
home
yes.
all the time. There's more stuff falling off the shelves because
Right, and I catch it all.
you're home. That's
I'm
good. Boy,
hearing
it's
Ken
not me.
Herbeck on Lifestyles. I'm an old guy that's got reactions like a cat.
I insist. I have got a droppage problem the last couple of years. I just drop stuff.
You're like an
And
Lions
I-
pup
I thought it was
returner.
another medical
And
problem.
here's what I think: that my hands aren't as strong as they used to be, so I haven't changed. I use the same grip that I've used for 70 years. Kind of a light grip, you know.
That's a grip
I'm
problem.
using the same. I'm using the
trusting
same
them when you pick
grip that I always did, but I have to use a more firm grip. Well, not that, not that, but that's fine.
Purple. Purple.
But I mean,
That's too much of a
dropping keys,
Yeah.
bottles,
Yes.
all that kind of stuff.
Mail.
I just don't.
Mail.
I just don't think my grip is it's strong enough if I make it a little more firm. That's what I think.
Thumb, please
That's
work
what
with the pinky finger to grab this letter.
I'm holding a magazine.
Oh my God, Patrick!
Boy,
Never thought that was coming up today.
I'm in trouble. Although I got to keep writing because it's the only time my mind works.
Okay.
You know, because I was watching a movie last night with Aidan Quinn in it. I've seen him in 5,000
Yeah.
movies, and I had to go to the Google to find out what his name was. It's happening frequently that who is that guy? I know who that guy is when I'm doing
Right,
stuff
right.
I
like
know where
that.
you're headed. Memory care.
I ain't going.
Should you be
No,
away
I
with
know.
it?
I
And
ain't
now
going.
it will be
As
it will
long
be,
as I remember where the Mendota Bridge is, I'll be fine. If it ever gets to that point,
it's
Yeah.
going to come to fruition. The years ago when he was asked by the security guard in the Met Center press box, sir, should you be away from the group? So it's going to be a real one when he's in the home. Sir, should you be away from the group? God, remember that, Pat? I think I got it.
I wasn't as offended as I should have been.
You should have been pretty
I'd like to
offended, yeah.
track that guy down now and give him a.
Oh,
You guys are aware that me and Pat damn near became close personal friends of Bob Dylan, aren't you?
Yes.
Was that the All-Star
We followed
game?
him out of the ballpark,
Yeah,
didn't we?
no, not an All-Star game. Just,
just a game.
Just a game. We wanted to see where his car was parked.
Yeah.
because he had his kid with him. What's
Yeah.
happening with him? He's fine, right?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he's good.
I get anytime you
He
see
just cashed out.
If you look at Twitter and it says trending, anybody in their 70s, you say, "Oh God," and then you're
happened?
very grateful when they're alive. It's amazing. Who just what athlete just another guy today or yesterday?
Floyd Little?
Floyd Little, yeah, Floyd Little. How about that? Syracuse University. Up there, stuck up there with grumpy old Ben Schwartzwalder, Jimmy Brown,
Yep.
followed by Ernie Davis, who died of leukemia at a very young age, followed by Floyd Little. Three of the greatest ever running backs, and they all went to Syracuse. They were running back university back there. Nice. Man, and they also had a couple other guys. Jim Nance, Jim Nance was a great fullback. And they had a Gerhard Schwades was a great back up there.
Wow.
They were something. That was, Schwartzwalder was this grumpy, you thought he was this grumpy old coach. And I've always told the Boeheim story that Jim Boeheim, great player, like a golfer. Like at one time he was a below scratch. He was below scratch. He was like a +2.
You're talking about the basketball
The
coach?
basketball
Boeheim?
coach,
Okay.
but he was first there as an assistant basketball coach and golf coach as Schwartzwalder. And he used to play golf with Schwartzwalder, who doesn't look like a golfer, but Schwartzwalder would make him give him like 8 aside or something. And he was telling us his story. He said, I started birdie, eagle, birdie, and I was 2 down. And Schwartzwalder says, and he said, I can't do this. You got it. And he says, Schwartzwalder, Stop complaining. Play golf. You know, shut up. 4 under and 3 holes, and I'm 2 down. I think I'm giving Ben too many strokes. You know. So
What happened to the fullback position in football? Does it
Boy.
even exist anymore?
Well, the
blocks.
Vikings have a good one.
yeah, but he blocks. Once he catches, he has 8 carries
Yep.
and 12 catches a year. Right. Beyond that, you're just a servant to the running back now, and nobody. Even when Ham's in, how often do they put him in front of the running back?
Well,
Moreover, in there in this what they call the H-back,
H-back.
which is kind of a tight end behind the tight end, between the tight end and where a fullback used to be.
But
So-
think of the great fullbacks in history.
Oh,
There were
God.
some popular people.
Well, we had a fullback that was involved in the greatest play in Viking history. The 12 men on the field was what was his name? Nati Afa, whatever.
right. But
12 guys in a huddle.
Oh, the old-
Billy Brown for the Vikings. He was a
yes,
fullback.
yes, he was. But and probably the first fullback that caught a bunch of passes.
Yeah.
He was. But that was when everybody ran 2 backs and sometimes 3. But there was. I mean, the Bears for 30 years basically just handed the ball off to the fullback, and. Boy, the NFL this year, Joe, setting all kinds of scoring records. It's become completely.
Where's the defense?
Completely passing game now. It's like the AFL was when it started in the early '60s. Just let's make it 50 to 40, and maybe everybody will watch.
In fact, it was a fullback that inspired the Bernsey rant.
But it was a dumb f***ing play when his foot was, shoe was coming off, up the line screen. We were hollering take time out. We had a f***ing trap play called, and his f***ing shoe comes off. That ain't Bob Schnauker's fault.
Because Anderson was a fullback, wasn't he?
Well, sort of. When they
Yeah.
ran 2 backs, he
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Was it Alfred Anderson?
Alfred Anderson.
Alfred
He was pretty
Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernie loved him. He loved him. He loved him. He loved him. Bernsey, hang in there, Bernsey, baby. Bernsey's.
Maybe Zim should bring Bernsey back to the offensive coordinator. Why not?
Last time I saw Bernsey, he's down to about 100, man.
Really?
Of course, he was always scrawny as could be.
Was he a smoker? Was Bernsey?
No, just skinny.
Okay.
He just had those. He just had those genes, man.
There's
He
another
was-
face that was a
I
little
take
wrinkly.
it. I take it. Zim is back for another year.
Oh yeah, we gave Zim a 3-year extension this
Last
year,
year,
at nice money before this year started, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And
Spielman.
and
They're both,
Spielman,
yep.
yeah. I think Spielman's in less trouble than Zim is.
Well, that next year will be a big year. If they have another non-playoff season, I think he might be in trouble.
What is Zim? 3-3 on the playoff 3-4. This is year 7, right?
Yes.
He made the playoffs 3 times.
His 14 was his first year.
Yes. 14, then the 15 they made it.
It's
They
been
have-
every other year.
Every other year.
Every other year they've
So,
made the playoffs.
Okay, 3 times. So, you know who we spent a lot of time sending love letters to, who's as mediocre as it gets? Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh boy, he
What
got
were
benched.
They finally benched him.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Collar and I, we never saw eye to eye on.
I never got that.
Didn't he
Teddy.
write a book on how you guys just agreed on that? No, that's something else.
No, he wrote a book about the 2017
That's what it is.
Vikings season.
That's what it is.
Matthew
Okay,
did.
Got it.
Did he?
Yep. The Miracle. I forget what it's called. The Miracle something or other.
He just
Miracle
put it
on
out
Ice.
now.
Yeah, maybe it was right before Christmas.
Is it an ebook?
No, it's print. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Yep.
He's a.
He's a good beat reporter, man.
He spends. He only spends about 18 hours a day worrying about football. I'll tell you that.
I have
He
other
must
things.
be. He was wrong about Josh Allen, though. Wow.
I agree.
Everybody thought this kid that's playing for Buffalo, Joe.
I know. I'm a big fan of his.
He was at Wyoming. I saw him at Wyomania.
Did you really? He was there.
One of the, I mean, everybody he just threw it all over the ball yard. He was as inaccurate as it could be, but they loved him from the start in Buffalo for some reason. Why was that?
He just resonates with that blue collar, small town kid stuff.
So even when he had a guy wide open and missed him by
Right.
5 feet,
but he's going to get MVP votes this year.
As long as he starts doing face plants on picnic tables out in the parking lot, they're going to love him. Okay.
Boy, what a bad year not to have Bills fans.
Well, they're
Are they
allowing
gonna-
7,000. And
Okay.
the 7,000 tickets, I was informed, sold out in 3 minutes.
Are they the 2 seed or 3?
Two seed.
Oh,
They
so
play.
they will not. They will not play a road game unless they get to the NFC and AFC finals.
Yeah, they
championship
host
game.
Indianapolis. They're the very first game on Saturday.
The Ravens Colts will be a good game, I think.
No, the Bills play the
Bills.
Colts. Yeah.
We got a chance for some weather at Buffalo too. I'm hoping.
Who do
Yeah.
the Ravens play?
Ravens are playing Tennessee.
Titans. That'll be a snot-nosed
Yes,
contest.
it will. Yes, it will.
I tell you, Rodgers is something this year. Oof, man, is he good? How about
He looks effortless, is what he
Joe?
looks.
Did you see any of that? They have this receiver,
Yeah.
Marquez
Valdez Scantling.
Scantlin, MVS, and the one he throws the 72-yarder to, right? Mm-hmm. And then the next time he throws another 72-yarder for him, and the guy drops it right in his belly, which he does at least half the time. And I said, I'm glad I'm not a Packer fan, because I would have spent all year calling MVS MFS. Because he does it once a game.
Yes, he does.
Once a game. And one of the losses they had, they didn't
That's
have
right.
many, he just basically screwed it up with a fumble.
He got death threats. Do you remember
Yeah.
that story? I forget who did they lose to. It was.
Well, they take it serious over there.
Oh my goodness! I thought, folks, we got to calm down a little
Yeah,
bit.
right. Well, he's, because he isn't like Troy Williamson. He doesn't drop them all. He just drops enough of them that are absolutely wide open.
Oh, yeah.
That will drive you crazy. And Rodgers, they win that game with no sweat if he catches that first one, because it's right at the start of the half, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second half. And Rodgers, I've seen him a couple of times this year with the murmur and profanities, but last night it was just kind of the sucking up the lips a little bit, like, I guess.
I might need him in the playoffs.
He's 1 out of 2. He didn't drop both of them. He
He's
looked
at
like a
500.
compromise.
Speaking
When
of
they
that,
get a bye week, do they get to leave Green Bay, I wonder?
Yes, he had one 3-word message for his team today. Don't
Right.
get COVID.
Well, I was going to say, you can't get in trouble in Green Bay, can you?
oh, you
There's
can get in
nothing-
trouble anywhere,
Yeah.
Joe. Come
Well,
on.
you can, but
Well,
not
it's
in terms
open.
of
You know
of
what
clubbing.
Brett and his buddies used to do, don't you, at this time of year?
What?
They jump on those snowmobiles and drive across western Wisconsin and visit various saloons
Yeah.
where they might have gotten free lodging as the night. If they decided to stay overnight, there might have been free lodging.
I got news for you, by the way. The Bears are going to get destroyed in New Orleans.
They should be.
The Saints are going to murder those guys.
Mitch reverted to Mitch form
Yes,
last
he
night.
did. Yes,
That
he
was
did.
that. I tell you, the worst interception of the weekend, though, was Andy Dalton's.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
But I think, what was the stat? The Bears are the first playoff team to have a 6-game losing streak in the same season.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that.
Well, when you put 7 in, it makes up it gives you a lot of opportunities for stupid stats.
We have that, and then another NFC playoff team is 6-10, or whatever
Yeah.
Washington is.
And a home game. No,
Yeah.
they were 7-9.
They're 7-9. You're right. You're right.
Same as Seattle had when they beat the Saints
That's
that year.
right.
They were 7-9.
That's right.
So, unbelievable. So what else is going on?
Hey,
Anything?
I have a question for you. When are we going to sign Nelson Cruz? Because I'm getting a little nervous here.
Well, nobody's signing anybody. What's going on with baseball in general? We don't know what the rules are. We don't know. I think I see a plot here by Manfred to try to limit the season once again
Really?
because they don't know how many people they're going to let
Will
in.
they strike?
No, just they won't.
No, I mean with the
No.
players, because they're going to want their full salary, aren't they, after making the concession last year?
They will, but there's something going on here because we don't know what the National League rules are next year. Are they going to have the DH? Don't know if you're going to put the guy on second base in extra innings. You don't know. And no free agents are signing, really.
And no word about people yet. in
No,
the
that's what
stands.
that's what they're hanging. They want the players to make concessions on whether if the people don't get in, you take a certain percentage of their. I would imagine that's what's going on. But even the real baseball insiders guys, the Passans of the world, Passans, are not telling us what's going on. I talked to the Saints yesterday, or just texted somebody from the Saints and said, "What league are you in?" meaning the International League or the Pacific Coast League. He said, we may not find out till the end of January.
Wow.
Because I guess they sent out these contracts to all the new farm clubs, and not all of them have been signed as of yet because there's still some haggling going on. But there's a very good chance that if they're not letting people in the seats, these boys aren't going to fund minor league baseball again this year.
Ask.
Yeah.
Because what expense do the Saints have if the Twins are paying all the I mean, outside of staff? For
Well, they're gonna have to go out and sell tickets, and they have the only expense they get out of really is the salaries for the players, and with the Saints that wasn't exactly breaking the bank in the past.
Is it a Walls ruling that there are no people in the stands, or is it up to each club?
I think it's Walls right now. I don't know what Walls was letting 250 in. That's few of those state tournament games I went to this year.
Yes.
Boy, that 250 was. You know how when Hollis Kavner used to announce 40,000 for a senior golf event?
Right.
This was the opposite.
Yeah.
This was the opposite.
I was at a game at a site that'll go
Yes.
unnamed, and I asked the gentleman who I know very well. I said, "What do we got for a crowd?" He said, 249 people.
Hollis, I've told this before, but he's got one year. He used to throw a little lunch in December out at the Shorewood before the fire came out there. A nice restaurant a really good restaurant out on 61 Central Avenue. Not real fancy, but great food. He had all the reporters. He had the guys that covered golf out there, and I walked in, and there was like 8 guys in the room. I said, "What do you think we got here, Hollis? 30, 40 people?" Started off with the one-fingered salute right there.
Very
with that
good.
one.
Here's one.
Anyway, that's the other thing. Hey, we're going to have golf this week, Joe, right?
Are we in Hawaii?
I think the Tournament of Champions, whatever we call it now. I think they've let more players in this year. The money list it figures too, because they were having so many no-shows. Good guys didn't, the 2 or 3 of their champions from the previous year wouldn't show up.
I can't take another summer of fanless sports. It's just not
I
working.
can't
for
either.
me.
I was talking to Mr. Nanny yesterday. He called me about something, and we were saying, at first I said, it doesn't bother me, but it's starting to bother me not seeing people there, because it makes you feel like it
doesn't matter.
The great Ray Fitzgerald, the Boston Globe columnist from way back, who died young of cancer in the 70s. I once saw a piece he wrote defending sports, from the accusation of being unimportant, and his defense was, it's important because there are people there.
It's important because it's news.
Yes, because there are people there who take enough of an interest in it to make it important.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have your answers, gentlemen. For the 2021 schedule, it's the PTLA qualifying tournament, the Mission Inn. It's in El Campeon, Hawaii in the Hills. Wait, this is the Colombian tour. Son of a gun. I got to go back.
it didn't
Never
sound
mind.
familiar. It
didn't sound familiar to me.
I wouldn't mind covering one in Colombia, by the way. They tell that Cartagena is supposed to be one of the most beautiful cities
Oh
in
my
the world.
God, we got to watch your back. You're going to be
No,
the bus on the dirt
they're
road to
okay.
go there.
They're
Oh,
okay.
Randy Wayne White swears by that city.
Yeah,
He
Cartagena.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, that's still on the ocean. You go back up into the leaves and the snakes and stuff, then you might run into a few scamps.
On the
Might be
local
some-
PGA Tour, you got January 7 to 10, the Tournament of Champions.
Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah,
Tournament of Champions?
Kapalua Plantation
Oh
Course.
yeah, up there on top of the hill with
Isn't
the
that
wind.
the one with the long downhill?
long downhill and the wind howling. I never played it. I was up there a few times. But,
Pat, before I forget, I was going to ask you. I watched the Gonzaga game. That Suggs kid. Did we know he was going to be this good?
I don't know if we knew he was this good, but you want to know how to agitate Gopher fans?
Oh my God! What did you
One
do?
of no,
You're a
No,
pro.
this is what I do. I'm an expert. What you say is Suggs, blah blah blah, Suggs, and then you do the we didn't need him. We wanted him, you fat SOB. We wanted him. We tried to get him. We didn't need him.
I did see an exchange with you with one particular gentleman who shot some accusations your way. We'll call
Some
them.
guy. Did you see that one, Joe? This guy says, "You're an old fat decrepit." Rice is an old fat decrepit.
washed
slob
up,
who should wash away, and we still have to respect. So I tweeted it back and I said, I think you were a little light on the we have to the we have to respect part here. I think you didn't. There could have been a little more of that.
You didn't hurt my feelings.
No, yeah, it was. We have to respect. Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. A lot of anger out there in this country, Joe. I don't get it.
There's going to be more in the next 48 hours.
Yeah, there will. There will. But I think after Wednesday, the Big Orange is just going to accept it and say, okay, I bow to the will of the people, and I'm heading for Mar-a-Lago. We'll see
I
you
hope
later.
so. I really hope so.
You know what the chances of that are?
0.
Unbelievable. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. But
It's been quite the theater.
you know what? Mrs. Ricey, who's pretty much, let's say she's not as ardent about that subject as the CP has been through the years, politics. She is outraged. Yeah. She is outraged. She's in there. I hear her in the next room cursing at the TV. So, and that's something to get her involved, to get her away from housewives to watch politics.
Did she enjoy Andy Cohen and who's the Vanderbilt
Cooper?
guy? Anderson Cooper.
Oh, we didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it on New Year's Eve?
We didn't watch it. No.
Andy Cohen tried to get Anderson Cooper to admit that they were going to go drop acid after the show. And he was just like, no, I'm not doing that. He calls him the Vanderbilt boy, is what he said.
Anderson likes boys, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
both
okay.
of them.
That's
Both of
good.
them are married with children.
Oh, good
Yes.
for them. I think it's good. I tell you, good for the economy.
Yeah, let's go.
Gay marriage, good for the economy. When I sell that house, I am going to be a 100% supporter of gay marriage. That's right.
All right, you're going to want like a gay open
What
house
makes you
or what?
think it will be particularly appealing to gay people?
Guys, it's small, but it's nice.
Yeah.
You know, and we got the pool.
Got the cement
Got
pond.
the cement pond. You know, everything's been redone inside.
Nice
It's small.
neighborhood.
You can say that about
In
the pool,
fact,
too. Completely
if we're
renovated.
having a showing and a young man and his wife come up there, I say, nope.
Not
Sorry,
not
we're,
waiting.
We discriminate.
We
discriminate.
We're not having any of you heterosexuals buying in this neighborhood. We got enough young families in the
We
neighborhood.
need more
We don't-
gays in the neighborhood.
You know what you
Yeah.
preach? Diversity.
That's right. That's right. You know.
Well, you better go fix your garage door.
All right, I'm sure I can give him a lot of good advice when he's
I'm sure.
climbing
Yes,
up on
you
it.
can.
I just hope he doesn't come over and say, I tried to get the snow out so to prevent it that wasn't what was causing all the problems. So
The
there's
door
something
just
wrong.
won't go up and down.
It's just been acting funky for
You need a
while.
new motor.
2 or 3 times I've gone out in the morning and the door was open,
Oh, boy.
and I said, okay, I forgot, right?
Not everything.
But it's
Not
happening too often for that to be the case.
When you have your open house, I'm reminded of an ad that Chris Farley did, and I think Adam Sandler did on Saturday Night Live. You need to serve a beer, a specific beer. What was it called?
Gay light.
No, Schmitz. It was
Or
Schmitz
Schmitz
Gay.
Gay.
Schmitz Gay. And they go to this pool party, and it's
That's right.
all a bunch of gay
That's
guys.
right.
Schmitz Gay.
It was so funny.
It was pretty good.
Back when you could get away with
Back
that
we could
stuff.
get away with that. Oh, yes.
All right, you got to go.
All right, so do
See
you.
ya.
Here is our guy, Mr. Money Talk.
Yes, Josh Arnold, 2021. He's expecting better things, we hope.
Hey, GLers, it's Reavers here once again for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold, who has a very important question for you. Do you know what you own? You see, Josh Arnold's clients always know what they own. And he has found that when he meets people every single day, most of those people don't even know what they own. Josh has seen retirement portfolios that have a big percentage in bonds, and there are real instances of people paying more in commissions and fees than they can possibly make on the rate of return that these bonds currently yield. So Josh screams at you, know what you own. And later today here in GL, you're going to hear from the man himself. And he has some tenuous predictions for 2021 that you might find very interesting, so make sure you stick around for that. Trust is often overused, and it's even harder to find. Please take it from me that you can trust Josh. Give him a call today for that free 48-minute financial consultation at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment advisor services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a registered advisor in the state of Minnesota. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk.
I've got a buddy, Bob, who has 3 New Year's resolutions every year, and truth be told, he rarely succeeds at accomplishing his goals. He's not alone, by the way. Only 10% of us do accomplish our New Year's resolutions. Then it hit me. Bob should call the Canopy Group. Why? Bob wants to read more, and I'm not going to be able to read to him. Bob wants to lose 20 pounds, and I'm sure not the guy to help him with that. But I can help him with his 3rd resolution, and that is to save money. How's he going to do that? By handing this resolution over to the 30 professionals at the Canopy Group. They will help Bob save money on his home and auto insurance and have better coverage at the same time. There's 16 companies assure Bob's success, not only just this year, but they will do this for Bob every year to be sure he has the best coverage at the best price. New clients save more than $800 annually. Hand your New Year's resolution over to the Canopy Group and be part of the 10% with good old Bob who succeed in accomplishing at least one of their New Year's resolutions. Call 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com. All you Bobs out there, get with it. 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com.